We continue our knowledge sharing mission through a series of interviews with marketing leaders from all over the world. And for today's Women's Month episode, we're very excited to welcome Monica. Monica, will you be able to introduce yourself?
Yes, thank you very much. Hi, everyone. Welcome to CMO Chats. My name is Monica-Alexandra Antonescu, and I am the Global Head of Customer Marketing at Ivalua.
Amazing. It's very amazing to have you here today, Monica. Would you tell us a bit about yourself and your role at Ivalua?
Absolutely. So, as I said, Global Head of Customer Marketing at Ivalua, a unified source-to-pay platform provider. A little bit about myself. I built literally the customer marketing function from the ground up. When joining Ivalua, we did not have a customer marketing role or focus, marketing focus on existing customers. So I had to start off by defining advocacy strategy, expansion programs, executive communities, and also the infrastructure that connects customer success to revenue, pretty much. If I had to explain a little bit about the role, it sits really at the intersection of marketing, sales, and customer success. So ultimately, my focus is to turn successful customers into measurable growth drivers through storytelling, through community management, and structure advocacy.
That sounds really amazing, and I can't wait to hear about more about the role that you currently have. But I'm also curious to know, right, if we backtrack it a little bit, how did you get into marketing, and what did the journey to your current leadership role look like?
So I actually started off by studying political science at the university, and then focused on journalism and communications, which I believe gave me a strong foundation in storytelling. So from there, I moved into the enterprise software space and marketing specifically, and progressively shifted from content creation to revenue impact. So the journey took me from channel marketing to field marketing, and then to customer marketing. And I was very fortunate to go into customer marketing at a time where it was really important to build the foundations. The customer marketing function was not very well known, and in many cases in the tech space, it didn't really exist. So in my customer marketing role at two different software companies, I was fortunate to be able to build the function from the ground up. And the common thread basically has been building functions, frameworks, teams, and revenue engines.
That sounds quite a career with all of the experience that you've had, and building teams from the ground up. That really sounds like a challenging yet fulfilling role that you have had. And so as we celebrate Women's Month, was there a moment in your career where mentorship or support or representation made a meaningful difference?
Absolutely. Indeed, very early in my career, I was given the ownership of building something that didn't exist yet. And that was really pivotal. So mentorship, in my case, wasn't as much as about advice, but more about sponsorship. The way leaders allowed me to operate at a strategic level is basically the same way that I try to lead with, replicating that same type of mentorship with younger marketers, and ensuring that they don't just execute campaigns and programs and events, but really truly understand the business impact.
I think it's always also very important to impart the whys of why we're doing certain things, and really just sharing the value of what we're doing and how that's going to be impacting the business overall. And so I'm also curious to know, Monica, what's your main marketing focus at the moment, and why are they important to your company's growth and success?
So my focus at the moment, and it actually really, of course, coincides with the company focus, is customer-led growth. In the SaaS space, expansion and retention are just as critical as acquisition of new customers. So we are in customer marketing building structured advocacy programs and executive communities, as well as AI-driven transformation stories that allow to accelerate pipeline, upsell pipeline, and strengthen positioning. Today, marketing must really connect experience, credibility, and measurable revenue impact, in my opinion.
And I think all of those points that you brought up are definitely very valuable in today's case, just as important as how we see customer led growth and AI being part of our everyday lives right now. I think you did mention it a while ago, but I'm also curious to know what would you say is the biggest challenge that marketers face today?
Well, I'd say it's very closely tied to the opportunities that we have. So I'm thinking of attention scarcity combined with rising accountability, because there's more and more content available to all of us, both in our personal and professional lives. So more AI, more channels, but the executive community has little time, less and less so. And also marketing is now directly accountable for pipeline and growth, customer marketing as well, and that's pretty new. It used to be a focus of field marketing for new business. Now customer marketing is really in charge of pipeline and growth for upsell. And the challenge isn't really about producing more, so more content, more events, more campaigns, more programs. It's producing meaningful and revenue aligned impact.
Absolutely agree with what you've mentioned. And I think this also aligns with my next question, which is, do you think leadership expectations have evolved? I think particularly women in senior marketing roles, and in what ways?
Yes, absolutely. So I believe that senior marketing leadership has now shifted from being the brand guardian a while ago to being a commercial leader. So today, the marketing leadership team is expected to understand all of the ARR mechanics, retention, expansion, and board level metrics. And I believe that while for women in leadership, there is still a certain level of scrutiny that needs to disappear. The opportunity now is to lead through strategic clarity and measurable results.
And I think that does come with a challenge, but also a lot of opportunities at the same time, especially for women leaders. And now I think my next question is, while we're talking about, these opportunities, what do you believe is the biggest opportunity for marketing directors, or let's say CMOs today, that might not have been available in the past?
Well, absolutely. That's a great question. I think one of the biggest opportunities at the moment, especially for marketing leaders and customer marketing leaders in my case, is to scale communities. So now technology allows us to build ecosystems and not just audiences. And our customers really want to learn from peers, not vendors. So we've moved away from a very prescriptive system of information sharing to a peer-led system and CMOs who can really structure peer-to-peer communities and turn them into growth engines have a significant advantage and can really make the most of this opportunity.
I absolutely agree. I think we've also seen that in the recent years, just that ecosystem-led growth has really been driving a lot of this impact, not just for the organizations, but I think in the ecosystem as a whole. And so that brings me into a related question, which is looking back on the past year that we've had. What was the most successful event or maybe engagement piece that you've hosted, and why?
Oh, it's a great question and opportunity to think about our global customer conference and a roadshow series of procurement innovation on tour events. I would say they were a standout, not because of attendance, but because of influence. As I mentioned, and by we, the global marketing team, of which customer marketing is a significant part. So we structured both the annual conference and the series of innovation on tour events around peer storytelling and measurable AI-driven transformation outcomes. And what they generated was advocacy assets, of course, executive alignment, but also expansion conversations. And I think today success isn't really measured by event metrics anymore, but by influenced revenue. And in this new format, I believe these series of events really stood out and helped the company achieve its bottom line results.
And it's really interesting to hear, Monica. Thanks for sharing that. And so we talked about, the past engagements that you've done. Now we want to talk about the year ahead. So I'm curious to know what's at the very top of your priority list for 2026?
I would say at the very top of the priority list, we have the scaling of our structured advocacy at a global level. So we're really laser focused on operationalizing customer-led growth and ensuring that all of our programs, reference program, our executive community activities, and of course, capturing and sharing our AI success stories are all integrated directly into pipeline acceleration.
That's really interesting. And I think from all of the things that you've mentioned, all of the different priorities, all of the different engagements that you've had, I also wanted to ask from your perspective, how would you describe the role of the CMO, or let's say the marketing director, in one word, and why?
Excellent question, because it kind of makes you really summarize everything and then get to the essence of things. I would say one word, and the word would be orchestrator. Because now the role of the marketing leader, senior leader, is that about aligning multiple organizations, not only the global marketing organization, but also product, sales, customer success, and branding into one cohesive growth-focused engine.
That's a great way to describe it. Absolutely. We really see the marketing role has evolved, right? Just not just from handling marketing by itself, but really more involved into the business side of things. And that's really, I think, quite a unique way to put it. And so now I wanted to ask, coming from, someone who has built a career in marketing for many years, would you have, or what advice would you be able to give to young women who want to build a long-term career in marketing and grow into leadership roles?
Well, I would have to say, and it's really based on my experience directly, really don't stay just only on the creative side of marketing. It has, of course, its perk. It's actually great and very fulfilling. But from my experience, really early in my career, I realized that if I really wanted to have a longer term seat at the leadership table, I needed to understand how the business truly works. So looking closely at revenue models, pipeline dynamics, and retention, as well as margins, really changed everything. Because I've really learned that that growth happens when you step outside of your comfort zone. While you can be a very strong, recognized expert on the creative part of marketing, learning early on, and really interacting early on with the sales leadership, with customer success leadership, is key in binding the let's say the marketing impact into the company's true objectives. I would say a piece of advice would be to volunteer for cross-functional projects and to sit on sales calls and learn about the pipeline and learn about the upsell opportunities for customer marketing specifically, to really ask questions in some meetings where you really feel slightly intimidated or out of place, because that's usually where you learn and grow the most. And I would say that's really important, as well as keeping a close track of your impact. Really, because data gives confidence, and the visibility may open the doors, but it's consistent performance, very well measured and strongly articulated, that allows you to really walk through those doors and stay at the leadership table.
Absolutely agree. And I think that's beautiful advice. It really comes into, exposing yourself in these difficult situations for yourself to grow, right? Like what you said, growth happens when you step outside of your comfort zone. And so we move into the next question, which is mostly focused on, what do you think Women's Month mean to you personally as a leader?
So to me, Women's Month is really a true reminder that leadership isn't just about representation. It's really way more about responsibility to create opportunity for others on your team, on cross-functional teams as well.
Beautifully put. And so we're on to our last question. So if you could ask marketing leaders such as yourself one question, what would it be?
Well, I think it's very important for marketing leaders to continually question themselves and question their teams, as well, to really try to grow and evolve. Never really be happy with what you've accomplished, what you've done, and with the strategy of last year or the past years. It's really by questioning this permanently and benchmarking against what other leaders are doing in the industry, or in different industries that we truly evolve. So I would say, I would ask marketing peers, are we building campaigns, programs, events? Or are we actually building ecosystems that sustain growth?